When the enemy knows that you are weak and you have certain weak moments, he sends familiar patterns disguised as answers to your prayers. I am so guilty of this. I'm telling y'all, this has happened to me. And I'm like, why all of a sudden is such and such hit me up? Why all of a sudden am I responding? Why all of a sudden, how did I end up in this situation again? And you really got to be honest with yourself, because he will send validation to a woman who's empty. He'll send attention to a woman who's lonely. He'll send charm to a woman who's unhealed. He'll send a false sense of peace to a woman who is spiritually tired. Are you the one that's always pouring into people? Like, listen, now that you've got yourself together, right? Now that God is doing this new thing in you, now that you've been diligent in your walk for a little bit, and you're trying to go out and share the good news of Jesus Christ with other people. And you know what? People may start to take you seriously, like, man, she really is changed. And then all of a sudden, such and such shows up. And you're like, oh, cool. Maybe they're going to come to the Lord as well. Oh, man, you're such a good person. Like, you're doing well. I'm proud of you, this and that. I love what you're doing. All this charm, all these compliments, all this attention. You've come a long way, yada, yada, yada. And, this walk is simple, but it's not easy. And so if you're a single woman and you're like, man, I want to get married at some point, and you're listening to this, it's like, man, it feels good to hear that. Then they want to take you out, whatever. But if they are not walking that same walk with you, like we discussed before, and you continuously entertain them, you have to ask yourself why. You want somebody to pour into you? Does it feel good for somebody to lift you up, for somebody to listen to you vent for a change? Because you're constantly pouring into others, ministering, evangelizing, trying to get them right. And it's like, man, and you go home to your empty apartment. You spend all day with the Lord, so you don't even want to chill with the Lord anymore. Let's be real. And you're like, man, I just wish that I had somebody to talk to. And this person, they're talking to me, but they're not the one that God has for you. But because they're there and they're telling you everything you want to hear, you get weak. You lower your guard. Well, maybe they'll come around in that area. They don't have to be perfect. I'm not legalistic, and you start allowing things. And you're thinking to yourself, like, I'm not broken anymore. I'm healed. I'm not going back to my ex. This is a new person. But they're not the one God sent for you. And it's hard sometimes to accept this, like, am I really doing that? But if you are drained and you don't have the right circle of influence to pour into you, or you don't take the time to fill yourself back up when you do go into your prayer closet, when you do spend time with the Lord, because there are different ways to spend time with the Lord. And so you have to go back and look at, what does that time with God really look like, that I can still feel drained like this? And we'll get to that in a moment. But what I'm trying to point out right now is that the enemy will send these emotionally unavailable men, these manipulative friends, these toxic relationships, these counterfeit assignments, because you are spiritually drained and you're looking for something in the natural to replace the fulfillment that can only be filled by the Spirit of God. So that's when you got to check your discernment level, because your discernment operates from overflow. Watch this, not emptiness. When you're empty, you cannot depend on your discernment. I'm going to say that again. Your discernment operates from overflow, not emptiness. I'm talking about spiritually. That's why when you fast, your discernment is sharpened. Your body may be empty, but your spirit is sharp. Hallelujah.